So welcome everyone. This is the little beauty that we're going to go get, but first I wanted to show you something. We are at the end of December and not normal for the Pacific Northwest. We have normally had a killing frost by now, but we have calendula blooming. The leaves look a little worse for wear, but normally these are all killed and mushy and disgusting. And I have just beautiful little happy calendula flowers. And the bee balm, same thing. I have some little blooms coming out on my bee balm. I mean, it's pretty, but it's just so bizarre. And coral bells and my little rose. Now, this rose bush has done its full thing. It bloomed, the leaves are pretty much dropped, and it put on its rose hips. But all of a sudden now I've got another little bloom coming on. And at the end of the video, after I show you all the cauliflower and we talk about that a bit, I use some of these rose hips that you see up here on my front porch for some of my Christmas decor. So after the cauliflower, stay tuned and I'll just give you a brief peek of that. And this was my California poppy and the chickens waiting for the snacks. But here we are with the cauliflower, and you can see that I have a net bag over it, and I do that to keep the cabbage moths off, and it really does work well. I have it secured at the bottom, but there's something in there. So let's get the netting off and take a peek. Now you can kind of see back here in the back, there looks like there is a little bit of discoloration, but let's get this cut off and see what we're dealing with. Now you can tell on some of the leaves that they've been chewed a little bit, and that is from the slugs. I do have a lot of slugs because it rains a lot here. But I'm looking at this cauliflower and I see evidence that something other than slugs has been bugging my cauliflower. And I'm curious to see if I can figure out what it is, being that, again, that netting keeps the cabbage moths off of my cauliflower. So I'm just going to work on pulling off all of these leaves and we will give these to the chickens. And then we will take a little peek at this cauliflower and see if we can see anything. And as I'm spinning it around here, I'm not visibly noticing anything other than the little bit of discoloration. I found a couple pieces of side shoots of broccoli, so we're going to grab those as well, and we're going to take these up into the house. Now, what I'm going to first do is fill a pot with some water and put some salt in it, because if you have grown anything organic, in order to get any bugs out or any possible bugs out, you want to put it in some salt water and let it soak for about 30 minutes. But first, we're going to cut this up a little bit just to see if we can see anything. I don't see anything in the one on the right, but on the left, I'm kind of thinking maybe I see something. So if you are queasy, look away. Oh, God, there he is. Still to this day, it just grosses me out, this little creep. Now, this actually is a armyworm larvae. It isn't a cabbage moth. And they pretty much stay in the ground a lot, but a lot of times they will come up and harbor up into things like broccoli and cauliflower. And disgusting. I'm going to feed him to the chickens. But that just grosses me out still. But to this day, I kind of have a little bit of trouble with it, but when I was younger, I wouldn't have eaten this. I would have just been like, no way, that's disgusting. He was in there. But now I realize it doesn't really hurt anything. He doesn't get onto anything. There is a little bit of deposits that you can cut out, and a little bit of pieces where he has maybe chewed on it a little bit. We'll just cut those out too. No big deal. And then we're going to get this all soaking in the pan. And I'm going to let this soak for about 30 minutes. I'm breaking it up into small pieces. And after I let it soak for the 30 minutes, I will also cut it up into a little bit of smaller florets just to make sure that there's nothing else in here. And then we'll be good to go. Let me know down in the comments, do you grow organic cauliflower and do you find things in your cauliflower and have to do this process? Just curious. You know, I really like to eat organic just for the health benefits and knowing that nothing was sprayed on it and where and how it was grown, but the bug factor is still a little icky to me. But we're just going to let this soak, and then once it's done, we're going to get this drained and rinsed, and then I will just put it into a Ziploc bag until we're ready to use it. Now I'm just going to add my broccoli in here, even though I did look these over and I didn't notice anything at all in here. But just to be safe, we're going to get that soaked. So now I just wanted to show you what I did with those rose hips that I was talking about. This wreath my daughter bought from a 4-H student. through her work. She works at a veterinary clinic, and one of her coworkers' daughters is in 4-H, and they used one of those wreath machines, but they didn't quite get all of the stuff tucked in there as they should have, but it's okay. It was for a good cause. And I just thought it was a little dull looking, so I'm just going to tuck in a few little clusters of these rose hips here and there onto this wreath. I just like the way the red kind of brightens it up a little bit. Do you guys have rose hips on your roses? I know that different types of roses have them and different don't, so I just am very fortunate. This one rose bush just puts on loads and loads of rose hips. Now this is just some ribbon. I made a bow and I was going to show you how I made it, but by the time I looked at the footage, I kind of was off camera a little bit. So I'm just using a pipe cleaner for this so that it doesn't scratch the door when I twist it on the back. And then I'm just going to loop the ribbon down and around the side just to give it a little bit of flair. And this has juniper berries in it and stuff too, which I love the look of juniper berries. It grows in the eastern part of our state, but where I live, we don't have them. So that's what it looked like when it was all done, and I'll show it to you here in a little second in a little bit different light. There we go. You can tell it just kind of brightened it up to add all that. So I'm just going to give you a little peek of what my porch looks like. That little towel is for the dog's wet, muddy paws, as you could tell. It has to stay there. And I never did get my bow up at the top of my door garland, but that's all right. And then, true to form, the little section of lights that go into this cute little mailbox that I have that used to be my parents' mailbox, the lights died right at the section where it goes in. So I need to get that taken care of too, but it's always something. And I just thought, since it's Christmas time, I'd give you a little peek of our Christmas tree. It's kind of, lodgy, rustic lodgy theme. And so is my living room, my mantle. Just kind of all things natural. Trees, bears, birds. And these are our stockings. This mantle is not for a fireplace. My granddaughter's toys are actually under there, but this is my kitchen. Now I did do a complete separate video on unboxing some of my really vintage ornaments, which were some of these that are hanging right here. This is my no-touch space, so my granddaughter can't get her little fingers on there. I'll link that video down below if you're interested, but just giving you a quick peek again of the kitchen. And these are some of the vintage ones from the 70s. Some of them are from the 60s, but most are from the 70s, I believe. And a few more of my glass ones up over the doorway. But I have a good time going to estate sales, garage sales, thrift stores, sometimes auctions, just scouring for some vintage old ornaments. It gets harder and harder as the years go by, but I just love them and I love to display them. So let me know if you're all decorated for Christmas. And I just wanted to say Merry Christmas. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.